Hey physics students, welcome back. Okay, so I have two notches in here, or the two ends of my notches. There they are. What? I actually had to use a new popsicle stick because what I discovered is that if you cut this, let's see here, if you cut this one first, the far one, and then you cut the near one, it actually ends up splitting the wood. So what I discovered is that you have to cut this one first and then cut this one, and when you do that, then you'll get a nice notch. Okay, so I'm almost all the way through that second notch, and when I was practicing this off camera, I also discovered that sometimes when you do that, the notch just makes itself almost. So let's get that zoomed in again, and I'm going to go ahead and finish that cut here. My blade's getting a little dull here, so I might have to, oh darn it, well that might happen to your popsicle stick, and it just did to mine unfortunately, but wow, that's the unfortunate break that you sometimes get with these notches. But anyway, I was able to make one off air again, and what happens is that once you have those two cuts made in, sometimes it will, sometimes that piece in the middle will just start to come out itself, and it will break off on its own. But if it doesn't, what you can do is you can just take your knife and you can cut that piece just like you were making the cuts before, and eventually what will happen is that piece in the middle will just start to kind of come out on its own as little splinters. So that's how you make the notches for the notch joint. All right. And now I'm going to show you how to do the bevel if you want some nice overlapping joints. So I'm going to put my popsicle stick clamp down here again, or clamp my popsicle stick. Okay. Now this time, my knife motion is going to be moving away from me in that direction. So I want to make sure that anything that's over there is nothing that is going to get hurt if my knife happens to slip out of my hand or if I happen to lose control of my knife. So make sure you're not standing across from a table partner when you do this. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another popsicle stick and lay it across where I want to make my joint. And I am going to make a very light score with my knife right across both sides. Okay, and be very, very careful here. You might even want to do this with a pencil. I'd actually recommend a mechanical pencil instead of this knife. Okay, that way your thumb isn't anywhere near. But I've made two very, very light scores into the popsicle stick there. Alright. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the far one. So this is that's my far one right there. So I'm going to start just like I would with the notch joint, but I'm going to do it all the way across. Okay, so let's see here. Let's start doing that. And I obviously don't want to cut all the way through the popsicle stick, but I want to go about halfway. All right. Okay. Let's see, is that about halfway down? I take a look at it. Yeah, it's not quite. So we keep on going. And this actually gets to YouTube. I'll probably edit this so you don't actually have to sit here and listen to me talk and cut for 3 minutes. But okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this other one. But I don't need to do this one nearly as far right now. Okay. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some whittling. In other words, I need to lengthen this knife out a little bit more. and I am going to start shaving from my first notch down into my second notch here. So, and this is where you got to make sure that nobody is out in front of you. Make sure you have good control of your knife, and make sure that your knife is sharp. And if it's not sharp, okay, and then we just take little pieces off at a time, whittling down, okay. It might even help to start from the far side. And notice that when I get to that cut that I made, those shavings will actually already cut, they'll come off. Okay. Okay. Now, this knife is getting to be a little bit dull here. It's time for me to snap off this blade and go to another one pretty soon. Okay. Notice that I don't have anything in front of me, in front of the knife, like fingers or anything like that. Because if I lose control of this by accident, I don't want to end up with a cut finger. Alright, so... Alright. Okay. That looks pretty good, actually. Alright, that looks like a good first half of a bevel there. Alright. Okay, so I will move this to top view to show you what it looks like. And what you can see is that I have been whittling from here down into here, just like this, and making little shavings at a time. It's kind of like shaving the top off of a brick of cheese or a brick of butter or something like that. Okay. And then what I need to do is I need to turn the popsicle stick around so that this side is over here. I'm going to make a deeper cut over here and then do the same process. Alright, so... There we go. Alright. Same deal. Make sure nothing is down here. And I better bring my knife back in so that while I'm cutting, hold down that other end, just while I'm cutting. There we go. Okay, just one more. Alright, then bring my knife out a little bit so I can do some whittling and make sure that my fingers are not down in the way of the knife. And just whittle a little bit at a time. Okay. And this side is going to be a little bit easier since we've already dug into the wood some. And little shavings are coming off, and this you can see is the part where you're really going to need some eye protection here, because those little shavings can pop up and hit you in the eye. So definitely want safety glasses on when we're doing this. Alright, so now that that's done, now what you can see is I have a complete bevel in here. And then if I do this again with another popsicle stick, I will then have two popsicle sticks that I can join, just like these two right here. Alright, and I will have an overlapping joint. Alright, so there you go. That's how you make an overlap joint. And stay safe and enjoy cutting those popsicle sticks. All right, bye.